Hi all, today I'm back doing another review. This time it's an older review. It's going to be of an old Lima model set, and it's a German set. I know I normally model Irish models, but every now and again I do see something that takes my interest, and I think these old German Locos look really cool. And I have the set, and it's in its lovely original box. The box looks a bit battered, but then again I'm not sure exactly when these sets came out, but I'm guessing the 1980s. I couldn't really find a huge amount of information online about them, so if anyone else knows when these came out or any information about them, please do drop it in the comments. I'd love to know. Yeah, I think the box is holding up pretty well considering the age. I do also have a coach pack. Now unfortunately I don't have the box for the coach pack, but I will go through them as well a little later on. So the plan for this is we're going to do a little unboxing. I'll show you the entire box, show you the locomotive and the carriages, I'll show you the extra carriages, have a little close up, have a little chat about it, and then the plan then is to convert it to digital, because this is a DC set. I'm not even sure if digital was around when these came out, or if it was in very early stages. Yeah, it also does have a light with it, so, and it does work. So I will be converting that over to digital as well. Yeah, so we'll crack on. So as you can see, it is made by Lima. It is part of their Golden series, and it is a German one. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it in German, but the Intercity Zug. So it is the 103 class locomotive. Boxing. So as you can see, the box is a little battered, but it is in as new condition, I suppose, for like could be 40-50 year old set. So on the front we have a little window in to see you get the loco and 3 carriages, one of them being a dining car. So yeah, so that's the front, and then the other side. So we have this side to have Lima. As you can see over the years it's been kind of taped, and then just little warnings: do not display in direct sunlight, which it doesn't look like the person did because it hasn't faded, which is great. And this side just has the Lima logo, some more tape marks, made in Italy, and I presume it's where you could put a barcode or something. This side just has the Lima logo, and that's it, apart from a little regulatory things. Yeah, not for under 3 years old. Fine. This side has the number, so we have 109728G, that's the set number, and then this one is a little, I'm not really sure, just a sticker, maybe quality control or something, I'm not too sure. And then we have some Asian writing. Not sure exactly what that means. I should get Google translated that and translated, but it's probably just regulatory and safety stuff. Yeah, and then the back we have, so as you can see, a lovely picture of where you start out and what you finish your layout. I do love the comedically huge drilling to drill the track down. I think if you tried to drill with that big a drill bit into the track, it wouldn't do it very well. It wouldn't do it any good. But yeah, and then photo realized with some elements not included in the box, so yeah, you don't get any of this in the box. Yeah, I'm saying there's obviously maybe a book with used to be called Complete Guide to Lima Railways. I think it's nice you get a picture and kind of shows you what you can do. Yeah, I think it's a nice box. It's sort of stood the test of time. Yeah, not much protection from the front. It's polystyrene inside, so not bad from the side, but that plastic is very paper thin plastic, so it's not going to protect the locomotive if anything falls this side. So not great packaging protection wise, but I do like the colours and, you know, nostalgia I suppose of it. But sure, we'll get it open. So yeah, that kind of does fall apart a little bit. I need to re-glue it. But, there we go. So that's the inside. Yeah, so we have the smell. You get that little old smell. As I said, you get one locomotive, the 103 class, and then you get 3 carriages. So by looks of it, you get a restaurant car. That looks like a first corridor class, and probably an open as well, yeah, and a first open. I presume the 1 means first, but I could be wrong. So we'll have a look at the engine first. So crack that out nice and gently. So it's electric Loco, and obviously driven by pantographs, so they are posable. They do go up and down a little bit. There's little springs on them, a little rusty, but then again it's old, and 1 is missing at this stage. But they do go up and down nicely, which is really cool. I think they look great. There's the front of the Loco now. So we have DB for Deutsche Bahn, these little lights. We have the older style, well, I suppose they are still used today, but the kind of, I suppose they're DMU couplings now. But I like them, they're good, they don't come apart. Little buffers. There's no separately fitted parts for the sides. The top has this lovely, the wires are all there, all separately fitted, so that's good. Bit of detail. Yeah, looks good. I say it's a little dirty, but it is old, so I'll forgive that. Yeah, it says a Coco formation, so there's the bogies. Not a huge amount of detail on the underbody, but the bogies still have some details, so that's fine. Yeah, underneath says Lima, Italy, and you have your, and it does have traction tires, which I suppose is probably the norm back then, so that's fine. It's a good bit of weight in it as well, so I don't think it'll really have an issue of running. Wheels look a little dirty. I might give them a quick clean as well, see how it runs. Yeah, so that's it really. And then the other end doesn't have buffers, just only one end has buffers. Yeah, well, it has a little headlight there as well, so we'll see. Yeah, I think it looks really good. So you have your markings. DB, Siemens obviously were the ones who probably made it, or made some part of it, or supplied some of the equipment for it. Yeah, nice roof detail. Yeah, looks really cool. So I'll put that aside. Move on to one of the carriages. So yeah, this is an open carriage. So I know you can't really see inside, but there is seats in there, which is good. So it does have an interior, which is nice. And then you got your all your lettering and everything there. I like the colours as well, the kind of cream and red. It's nice, and then the grey, silvery grey roof. Got a nice bit of detail on the ends. Again, the kind of DMU couplings, little buffers. It does have steps. No separately fitted parts, so all the handrails and everything are all moulded in. I suppose it's an extra part, which is fine. You know, for the age, the detail's pretty good for the age of the Loco, and I doubt this would have been a high-end model when it was new. Maybe I'm wrong. But, you know, it's got nice 2+1 seating inside. It's got the seats of little armrests and everything, so there's a bit of detail. And you won't really, you can kind of see it, yeah. Cool. Yeah, so that's a first open carriage. That aside. And move on to the next one. So we have a corridor carriage, and it actually, again, does actually have an interior, so you can just about see the corridor doors in there. Does have metal wheels, which is nice, and not plastic. Says Lima, Italy on the bottom. That's about it. There is actually a good bit of underbody detail, even though you don't see it. There is quite a bit of moulded pipe work and some tanks, probably. So that's good. Yeah, you have all your lettering. Looks good. It's all fairly legible-ish. Little vent there. Yeah. So, yeah, no, looks good. Check the other side, and you can kind of might be able to kind of see inside. Maybe not so much. But yeah, there's seats in there as well. They got little armrests. So yeah, good. And finally for this pack we have the restaurant or diner or whatever they call it. So you do have your seats in there with tables. which is nice. And then you have your dining thing there. I wonder if you can see if you could. Yeah. Kind of see that. There's nothing in it. Yeah, there's no like sink or anything in there, so it's kind of just blank. But there is like the partition to make it look like there's something, so that's cool. Yeah, and again, same sort of writing with your logos and safety stuff along it, so looks good. And then same sort of detail at the ends. Yeah. So looks good. Yeah. So that's this track pack, or the track pack, and that's that pack. So yeah, so you get the Loco and 3 carriages. Now that restaurant car actually has a slightly different coloured roof, as you can see. It's a bit more silvery than the grey, so it's probably just to differentiate it. So I did also get the other pack, I suppose. Now I don't have a box for these, but I think as far as I can tell online they either came in a pack or they came individually. So, but yeah, so I have some more here. So this is another open carriage. So a bit of dust. Excuse that. Yeah, so just another one. Yeah, same as the other open one, except the only difference is I'm assuming these actually came individual because they have a slightly different bogie and they have plastic wheels. As you can see, there's a bit of like corrosion or dust, yeah, just from being stored. I must give that a clean, which is fine. But yeah, they've got plastic wheels rather than the ones that came in the locomotive pack of metal ones. Yeah, so that's the only difference really as far as I can see. You know, same level of detail on the roof and the sides and all that, so which is great. Then we also got another corridor carriage, so again very similar to the other one. Again, has plastic wheels, which is fine. I mean, they're a light coach, you know, it's a little bit of weight in it, but not too much, so I don't think the plastic wheels will affect it too much. I'd say it'll still run nice and smoothly. Yeah, so yeah, same again. And then this one, now we get onto the 2 different carriages, so they're the same basically. I have 2 different ones. So this one is another restaurant car, but it has a little like upper level on top of the restaurant, and then the restaurant's probably down there or something. It also has the Trans-Europe Express on it, which is cool. So you can kind of see, and again it's got nice tables and everything in there, and again just some like dirt on the bogies and dust. Again, plastic wheels, but it's fine. Same carriage ends as the other ones, and then the other side is just full windows. And they do have the little detail on the window too that you can open, and it is 3D as well. It isn't just printed on. It is actually plastic. Yeah, so that's really cool. Yeah, a little vent in the roof. Can you see anything in there? I kind of see this stuff in there, but yeah, so that's really cool. And then the last carriage is my personal favourite. It's the kind of panorama observation car. So yeah, you got your like conservatory up the top with all the seats in it, so I think that's really cool if you're going along some beautiful scenery. Little bit of something on the paint unfortunately on this one, but I must see if I can clean that off. Yeah, that's a shame, but oh well, not the end of the world. Blemish there. I suppose these are very old carriages and they've been stored outside of a box, so you're open to elements and dirt and dust and whatever. So yeah, underneath same sort of underbody detail with the printed the molded pipes and everything. Plastic wheels for these ones. Yeah, this side's not as bad. A little bit of flash on the window there, which I could take off with a sharp knife. Yeah, so pretty good. I'm very excited for this. Get it on the track, my layout. Again, I may give it a little clean at one point, but that's it. So that's really cool. That's the that's the Loco and the Carriages. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get myself set up to convert the locomotive to digital. I did test if it ran on DC, and it does. It runs fine. I don't have a footage of that, but you have to trust me. It runs fine. Yeah, so I'll do that. I'll be back when I'm set up. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to convert this to digital control. So what I'm going to need is you're going to need your decoder. I'm just using a standard 8-pin 4-function Hornby decoder because they're cheap and readily available where I live. And then what I'm going to do is I'm not going to hardwire it to the Loco. I'm going to use a Gauge Master medium 8-pin socket. So we'll wire the socket into the Loco, and then we can just plug the decoder in. Saves cutting the decoder pin socket off, or the plug off, and then wiring it in case I want to take it out later or upgrade it to sound or whatever in the future. So we'll do that. You're also going to need some wire. I have this box of wire I got off Amazon. It's 30 gauge, so nice and thin. It's silicone coated, nice and flexible, really easy to use. I love it, and I've got different colors. Yep, so that's what I got. And then to take the locomotive apart, this doesn't have any screws, it just has clips. So I have my spudgers, and then you'll also need a soldering iron. That's just a 30 quid job off Amazon. Came in a little kit, you get different tips and stuff on that. So works perfect for what I want to do, because I don't do a lot of soldering. So yeah, that's basically what you're going to need as far as everything. I also need a little wire, little snips to cut the wire and to also strip the ends. You can also get little wire strippers, but for this stuff it's really easy to strip off. Yeah, so that should be everything. Cool, so I'm just going to clear this off and then we'll get the locomotive apart. So let's get the Loco apart. So what you want to look at is there any screws? As far as I can see, there's none in there. As you can see, there's 4 little clips, one either side. Yeah, so that should be it. And then I think the red and green bit comes away from the bottom, and then that should give us access to the inside. So I'm just going to push down on the little clip, and then with my other spudger I can get in there and pull it apart. There we go. There's one out. I have a nice this is kind of a leather-ish padded mat as well, just to stop, because if you're on hardwood then you'll could end up damaging the Loco, scratching the paint. So good to have a nice soft surface to do this sort of work on. So there we go, there's one side out. Flip it over nice and gently. Push in, pops out, and the last one. There we go. So that's the 4 clips out. So now we can lift it off as I drop it. But yeah, there we go. One body shell off. You can see the inside, there's nothing really in this end of it. Just the glazing and that. So I'll put that aside, keep it nice and safe. So that's the inside of the Loco. See, it's a nice big weight in the middle, which is good. There actually is a good bit of weight to this Loco. And then there's the drive bogie. So yeah, it's grand, and in the light either end. So it is actually old incandescent bulbs, which is grand. It's actually 2 different bulbs, so that one looks more original. It's got some rust on it, so I assume someone in the past has actually changed the bulb. Cool, so maybe it has been run in the past. But yeah, then you got all this little extra stuff to kind of connect all the wires together. We're gonna get rid of all of that, get rid of this, and we're gonna put everything into the socket. You can use these incandescent bulbs with DCC, it's no problem. I've done it before. Yeah, I had no issues. Converted what did I convert? Oh yeah, my Lima Irish Rail 201 class. It has incandescent headlights, and I put HM7000 in there, and same again, put a socket in and gave it a go. I looked on Google and it was very some people were like, oh yeah you can, other people were like, no you can't. So I did it and it's fine. They work great. They're they're not as good as LEDs. They're not quite as bright, but they still do it. They still work. So that's no problem. Yeah, and we'll set it up as directional as well, so we can have forward and backwards. So just before I go to do this, I have untangled the wires. I thought I'd give you a little explanation of what each of the wires is. So we have this wire here, goes from that side of the motor to the pickup, so that's your track right or track left depending, and then the other side goes down to the bogie, which is the other side, so your track right or track left, depending which way that the controller is pointing. Then you have this one has more wires because it's lighting, so that's one side of the light, that's the common. So you can see it goes along here and goes into this with the resistors or something, and then it's also connected to the front light or the back light, the other light. So that's your common, and then the other side of the light goes to one side of the motor, and the same with the light here. Now Lima did a great job, as actually the wire is I think you can see it goes down and is like embedded in the cogs. Yeah, it's like wrapped itself around one of the cogs, so that's not good. So I'm glad I took this apart to change it, because it probably would have ripped that right off, or got caught up and not ran, or melted if it, so it's good that I'm doing that, so that will get untangled. Yeah, so that's really the wiring. It's quite simple, but yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I will go off and unsolder these and rewire it, and then when it's done, I will come back to you and show you what I've done. And I'm back. So all the wiring done, socket installed. I will tidy it up, but just thought I'd show you what I did. So here's the actual socket, and there's all the lovely solder connections on the back of the socket. You can get different sockets, ones that have little pads on the sides and stuff. These ones are just ones linked at the back. So yeah, so we have our common light goes to the front of the back light and then goes into the common one. Yellow for the back of the Loco, white for the front of the Loco light, black for one side of the pickup, red for the other side of the pickup, and then we have brown and green, which is representing white, grey and orange, because I don't have grey and orange wire, so I used brown and green, and that's it. And then there is one slot on it, one of the pins isn't used. That's for an extra function, like if you had interior lighting or something like that, but I don't. I just have the front and rear headlight, so I don't need to use that, so there's no point wiring a wire up to it. Yeah, that's it. So what I'm going to do now is I'll get it on, plug in my decoder. Here's my decoder. I'm going to plug that in, and then I'll get it onto the programming track, program it in, and then we'll do a little test run, and if it all works, I'll throw the body shell back on, tidy up the wiring, etc., and then we'll do a little running session. Yeah, see you then. So yeah, I have it all programmed in and just on a little bit of a test track now. So I'm just going to test the lighting. Get on. There we go. We have my front light, and then change direction, and we have the back light. So there we go. Now I have directional lighting. I'm not going to test if it runs on this little bit of track because it's too short, but I'll get it onto the main track. I'll put the body back on first though, and yeah, speak to you in a minute. there we go. There's a nice little running session of it, running really nicely. I did clean the wheels and the contacts off camera because they were a little bit dirty, because it ran okay but didn't run great, but now it's running really well. As you can see, nice low speed performance. It's a bit loud, but then again it's an old Loco, so you'd expect that. And yeah, quite a high end top speed, whizzes around the track, but yeah, not really good, nice and responsive, and the lights look really good. Yeah, really happy with the way it performs. And then the 7 coaches run really well. There's very little rolling resistance off them, and because they have the kind of DMU style couplers, there's no chance of them coming uncoupled, unlike some of the modern tension lock couplers, which I've had quite a few issues with. So the downside of that is you can't take them off like on the coaches, not they're all molded to the bogies, and the same on the Loco, they're molded to the bogies, but oh well. Yeah, really good. I'm delighted with it, glad I got it. It just piqued my interest. It's all a really cool locomotive, and the coaches, I like the colour scheme and that, so yeah, delighted I got it all converted. Well, thanks for watching, and yeah, bye.